Today I'm joined by Mel Cassidy, our F45 multi-studio owner in Singapore. Mel owns 3 studios in Singapore, so naturally she's experienced in both the F45 business model and also knowledgeable on the market in Singapore. Today we'll be delving into her F45 journey so far and also get some insight on the Singaporean market. So Mel, lovely to be joined by you today. How are you keeping over there?
Yeah, pretty well, all things considered. We're pretty safe here in Singapore, and cases in the local community are next to nothing now. So on the COVID front, we're doing pretty well, actually. So yeah.
Great.
Pretty good.
Awesome. So jumping straight in, you're a multi-studio owner with 3 studios in Singapore. What initially got you interested in F45 and what made you want to invest in more studios?
Okay, I was actually in the fitness space already in Singapore, but I just ran a small kind of family-ish boot camp. It was actually a pre and postnatal, started as a pre and postnatal boot camp because I had a small child myself, and we decided we'd like to exercise rather than just eat coffee and cake, which is the norm. So we started the first kind of baby boot camp, if you like postnatal boot camp in Singapore. It then grew beyond that, but I really got to a point where I was like, okay, there were some pretty big brands in the boot camp segment, and in order to really make a good go of it from a business perspective, I felt like I needed to a bigger brand behind me, and then I had heard lots of positive things about F45 on social media, so I just decided to contact Luke from the website, and he called me back within half an hour, which I thought was pretty impressive.
Awesome.
And at the time I was actually in Australia because my mum was unwell, so I spent some time in Australia. And I had the opportunity to go and see one of Luke's studios, and I think I went for a 5 a.m. Saturday morning session.
Straight in there.
And I was thinking, is this guy crazy? As if anybody is going to turn up at 5 a.m. on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And it was packed, and I was like, oh, okay, right. And it was also in an area of Sydney that I was like, oh, I can't imagine this being, I can't imagine there being too many people interested, but it was full to the rim. And we had a coffee afterwards, and he was like, well, Singapore's starting to open up, you better get in quick. And I was like, I need some time to think about it. Anyway, by the time I'd thought about it for a week, the territory that I wanted had already sold. And I thought, okay, I've either got to do this or not do it. And I decided to do it. So I bought 1 territory to begin with. And then I went to the induction in Sydney a few weeks later. And pretty much every person at the induction, they were all from Australia, bar one. One guy was opening in Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. They all had bought multiple territories, and I was like, oh, okay, right. And that got me thinking. So I then thought, while I was there, maybe I should look at another one, and I bought another territory while I was in the induction. So and I'm glad I did. So and then Orchard actually came later. I acquired that from someone had already bought the territory, and then they asked me if I would be interested. Their family circumstances changed and they couldn't move up to Singapore from Australia, so they asked me if I'd be interested in managing it for them, to which I said absolutely not, but I'll buy it because it's a lot of work, so I think you want to be an owner.